Welcome to the College Alpha Vampires. Mate a thrilling supernatural romance set in a mysterious college where
Evelyn discovers she's the mate of the most powerful alpha vampire.
as they navigate their dangerous bond, enemies close in, and a deadly prophecy threatens their future. Will their forbidden love survive the dangers that await? Chapter 1: The New Beginning. The night hung thick with a sense of mystery, the air cool and crisp as Evelyn Rivers stepped onto the sprawling campus of Blackwood College. It was her first day, and she couldn't shake the feeling that she was walking into something far more dangerous than a simple school year. Blackwood was known for its elitist academic programs, but there were rumors that the college housed secrets much darker than anyone could ever guess. Whispers in the halls, cryptic looks from certain students, and a strange sense of being watched made Evelyn's skin prickle. But none of that could prepare her for the moment she would first meet him. Lucian Blackwood, the college's most enigmatic student. With his tall, athletic frame, pale skin, and raven black hair, he seemed like he'd stepped right out of a fantasy novel. But it was his eyes that glowed an eerie crimson under the right light, that made every girl on campus swoon, and every guy keep their distance. Evelyn had no idea who he was when she bumped into him in the library. The instant their eyes met, her heart skipped a beat. There was something about him, something magnetic, pulling her in. "I'm sorry," she stammered, unable to form coherent words. She backed away, but Lucian's gaze held her captive, his lips curling into a smirk. "No need to apologize," he said, his voice low and rich, like velvet. "It's fate." Evelyn shook her head, confused, but she didn't know why. As she walked away, her chest felt tight, and her mind kept drifting back to him. Chapter 2: The First Night. The next few days passed in a blur. Evelyn couldn't stop thinking about Lucian, though she tried to convince herself it was just a passing crush. After all, he was out of her league to perfect, to mysterious. But fate had other plans. It was a Thursday night when Evelyn found herself walking home from the library, the moonlight casting long shadows over the campus. She'd stayed late to finish an assignment, her eyes heavy with exhaustion. As she passed the abandoned courtyard near the back of the dorms, she heard it, a soft rustling, followed by a low growl. A chill ran down her spine. She spun around, but the courtyard was empty. Shrugging it off as the wind, she turned to leave, only to stop dead in her tracks. There, standing under a large oak tree, was Lucian. His eyes glowed faintly, brighter than before, and his posture was tense, predatory. But it wasn't just his appearance that made Evelyn's heart race. It was the sense of danger emanating from him, a feeling that she was standing too close to something she couldn't comprehend.
"I've been waiting for you, Evelyn," he said, his voice a smooth whisper that sent shivers down her spine. Before she could respond, he moved toward her with inhuman speed, his hands gently but firmly gripping her arms. His touch sent an electric current through her, but she was too stunned to react. "You've been chosen," he murmured, his gaze now intense, searching, as if he were trying to peer into her very soul. Chapter 3: The Alpha's Reveal. Lucian's grip tightened, but not in a way that hurt. His fingers were cool against her skin, sending ripples of something unexplainable through her. The moment felt surreal, like she was trapped in a dream or a nightmare. "What do you mean, chosen?" Evelyn finally managed to ask, her voice trembling. She wanted to pull away, but she couldn't. Something in his gaze held her captive, like a magnetic force. Lucian exhaled slowly, his eyes narrowing. "Chosen to be my mate." Evelyn's heart skipped a beat. The words were simple, but the implications were anything but. A mate. What did that even mean? Was he? Before she could process her thoughts, Lucian's expression softened, and he took a step back. "You have no idea what you're involved in, do you?" Evelyn shook her head, utterly confused. "No, I don't." Lucian sighed, running a hand through his dark hair. "It's not something I can explain easily. But you need to understand one thing. You're not just any ordinary human. You're mine, and I'm bound to you." The bond between us is ancient and unbreakable." His words hung in the air, and Evelyn's pulse quickened. She felt an unexplainable pull toward him, but her rational mind screamed at her that this was insane. "I'm a vampire, Evelyn. And you're my mate," Lucian whispered, his eyes flashing with a hint of something dangerous. "This connection we have, it's fate, and there's no escaping it." Chapter 4. The Suspense and Danger. Evelyn's life quickly spiraled into chaos after that night. She couldn't stop thinking about Lucian, the strange connection she felt to him, and the overwhelming pull that made her want to be near him, even when she knew it was dangerous. But danger wasn't the only thing on her mind. Lucian's enemies were circling, and as her bond with him grew stronger, the threats against her became more pronounced. One night, as she walked through the campus library, a figure stepped out from the shadows, a man with dark eyes and a menacing grin. "You don't know what you're getting into, do you?" The man sneered. "Lucian Blackwood is no Prince Charming. He's a predator, and you're his prey." Evelyn's heart raced. The man stepped closer, his eyes glinting with malice. "You're his mate. Then you're already into deep." Before Evelyn could react, a blur of movement caught her eye. Lucian, emerging from the shadows, his eyes glowing with a dangerous red light. "Leave her alone, Damien," Lucian growled. His voice was a low, threatening rumble, and the air around them seemed to crackle with energy. The man, Damien, sneered before stepping back into the shadows.
Lucian turned to Evelyn, his gaze softening as he approached her. "You're in danger now, Evelyn. There are those who want to use you to destroy me. But I won't let that happen." Chapter 5. Forbidden's Love and Betrayal. The deeper Evelyn became entangled with Lucian, the more dangerous it became. She was drawn into a web of intrigue, power struggles, and Forbidden's love that could tear them both apart. Lucian's world wasn't just dark, it was a battleground. His clan, the vampire elite, had enemies in every corner of the supernatural world. And Evelyn, now his mate, was at the center of it all. As the tension reached its peak, Lucian had to make a choice: protect Evelyn at all costs, even if it meant risking his life, or push her away to keep her safe from the bloodshed. But the truth was, no matter how dangerous it became, Evelyn couldn't stay away, and Lucian couldn't let her go. Cliffhanger ending. In the final moments, Lucian and Evelyn are faced with a deadly choice. Can their love survive the threats closing in on them, or will the forces that seek to destroy their bond tear them apart forever? Chapter 6. Blood and Bonds. Evelyn sat in the dimly lit room of Lucian's dorm, her heart racing as she replayed the encounter with Damien in her mind. She had no idea who to trust anymore: Lucian, with his mysterious, intense charm, or the strange vampire who had threatened her life. The weight of everything felt too heavy to bear. Lucian had been quiet for the past hour, his gaze often drifting toward the window, as though he were waiting for something or someone. Every so often, his eyes would flicker toward her, and she could see the internal battle waging within him. "I didn't want you to get involved in this," he said, breaking the silence. His voice was soft, tinged with an emotion Evelyn hadn't heard from him before: regret. She shook her head, her expression hardening. "I didn't ask for this, Lucian, but here I am. And I can't pretend that I'm not terrified of what's happening. Why me? Why did it have to be me?" Lucian stood up from where he had been leaning against the wall, the tension in his body palpable. He walked over to her slowly, his footsteps heavy. When he reached her, he paused, standing just out of her reach. "Because you're the key," he said, his voice low and steady. "To everything, to the prophecy, to my world. And now, to my heart." Evelyn's breath hitched at his words. Her heart did something strange in her chest, a flutter, a pull, something she couldn't control. But the fear and confusion gnawed at her. "The prophecy, Lucian, I don't understand. Why is it so dangerous?"
Lucian's face darkened, and he looked away, struggling to find the words. Because the prophecy says that the mate of the Alva vampire will either unite the supernatural world or destroy it. The weight of his words hit her like a tidal wave. Uniting or destroying, no middle ground. Evelyn felt the air grow thick, her pulse thumping loudly in her ears. I didn't ask for any of this, she whispered, her hands trembling. Lucian closed the distance between them in a flash, his fingers grazing her cheek. His touch was electric, sending a surge of warmth through her. You're my mate, Evelyn, and now, there's no going back. We have to face this together. Chapter 7. A dangerous alliance. The next few days were a blur of tension and paranoia. Lucian insisted on keeping Evelyn close, and while part of her hated feeling like a prisoner, another part, one she couldn't deny, felt safer with him. Her thoughts were constantly clouded by the revelation that she was the key to an ancient prophecy, and the weight of it was beginning to take its toll. Every whisper in the hallways, every glance she received from other students seemed to carry an unspoken meaning. Something was coming. Something that would change everything. It wasn't long before Lucian told her they needed to meet with someone, a vampire who could help them understand what they were up against. Evelyn agreed reluctantly, even though her instincts screamed at her to run far away. They drove deep into the forest on the outskirts of the city, an eerie silence enveloping them as they entered the dark woods. The moon, full and bright, cast long shadows across the trees, and the world felt unusually still. Lucian pulled into a clearing where an old stone building stood. It was ancient, weathered by time, but still imposing. A strange, heavy energy seemed to hang in the air. Stay close, Lucian warned, his eyes scanning the surroundings. His posture was rigid, tense. Inside the building, a woman awaited them. She was tall and graceful, with long silver hair that shimmered in the dim light. Her eyes, a piercing violet, looked at Evelyn with an intensity that made her skin crawl. You must be Evelyn, the woman said, her voice melodic, almost hypnotic. Lucian has told me much about you. Evelyn nodded, but couldn't find her voice. There was something unnerving about the woman, something ancient and powerful. Lucian stepped forward. We need your help, Callista. The prophecy, Evelyn and I, we don't understand what it means. We need to know what comes next. Callista studied Evelyn with a calculating look, as though searching for something hidden beneath her exterior. The prophecy is older than even it was written long ago by a seer who foresaw the rise of the Alpha's mate. But it's not just about you, Evelyn. It's about what's to come. Evelyn felt a chill run through her at the woman's words. What did she mean by that? What was coming?